Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, Josh, glad you're here. Hey, Susan, how you doing? Yeah, well, let's let her rip. All right. So, got to do this with my constitutional kiss. Who knows what that is? Not keep it simple, stupid. No, because that's what they've done to us. They have dumbed us down. They have made us so stupid. Yet, we're not. We have the ability to learn, and we have the right to have the truth. So, this is what I'm doing. I'm here to give you the truth and make it so stupidly simple. Keep it stupidly simple. That's my constitutional kiss. So, the courts. We have administrative courts and we have courts of law. If you're sitting in front of a judge, standing in front of a judge, odds are you're in an administrative court where they have no jurisdiction over you unless you give them jurisdiction. And this is the trick. They trick you with this jurisdiction. I want to read the comments here. Oh, can't hear. Oh, it's you. You can hear. All right. Well, where was I now? I got sidetracked. If you're in a court where you're in front of a judge, that is an administrative court. Thank you, Susan. Sounds good. Good to know. All right. If you are in front of a judge, you're in an administrative court that has no jurisdiction over you unless you give them that jurisdiction. So, in the reading of the other night, maxims of law, that's very easy to understand. That explains everything you need to know with regards to these courts. Now, these administrative courts are enforcing bylaw, statutory law, acts, rules, regulations, codes, and putting penalties on you for infractions and penalties and criminal charges. And if you knew you were an American and what an American was, you wouldn't be there. But they have so dumbed us down. They have so manipulated the education system for generations that people just can't seem to get a grip on this. So it is this simple. You have administrative courts with a judge. You have courts of law with 12 judges. And the one behind the bench that they call the judge is not a judge in that case. He's there for order of the court. And this whole thing of a judge can't give advice from the bench, I got to question that, because for a justice to not be concerned with justice is a sin, in my view. Now, the trick can get deeper. If you go from being in front of a judge to being in front of a judge and 12 jurors, oh, you're in big trouble. Oh, my goodness. Because that's administrative. That's not lawful. And you shouldn't be there. Period. And that's called jury trial. So if you're facing jury trial, you are in administrative court. Now, trial by jury, that is a lawful court. And the judge's job there is order of the court. And if you're there as a defendant, you got a problem, most likely. The law is harsh, but that's the law. So it's that simple. So traffic court, all these courts, all these hearings, it's all administrative. Listen to the talk on maxims of law, and it will all become clear to you. All right, now, the Americans' Notice of Liability. One-page document. From here down, that's just notary jurat verification and notary jurat. Up here, you come into court. Here, you give your testimony. Now, this is not a court case. You're not making a claim. You are creating a declaration. In a court of record. And you're having this document facilitated by a notary jurat. This is an affidavit. Not all affidavits are equal. There are many different types of affidavits. And you can have an affidavit that's created in the United States. Oh, that's not good. There, now you're in slave land. You're in parasite world. So you want the language that's in this verification and notary jurat section is very important. So now, what is this document? What is this? Well, by entering court of law, you are setting your status, your standing, and your jurisdiction just by coming into court. All right, now you're going to give testimony. Testimony, this is a notice of liability and common law. And then it gives some description about what a trespass is, who's responsible, what the fee is going to be, the financial penalty, and the criminal charge. It's treason. Listen to the maxims of law. That'll all come clear. So, one of the most important things we have to deal with is our freedom and our liberty and our safety. Our law enforcement officer, our peace officer is our sheriff. The sheriff is responsible for the entire county. One individual holds that office. Take his notice of liability and serve it on your sheriff in his lobby, her lobby, under their video and audio. As well, record it yourself. Or send it certified mail if you like. But then you probably want to put in a letter and a notice of mailing, and so you can do that as well. Now, you give the speak that I talk about. You tell him the road piracy has ended in this county. He's to notify all the bylaw officers, that's state police, city police, village police, township police, because if one of them happens to arrest you, which is stop you, we went over that in the word definitions, what arrest meant to our forefathers. That means to be stopped. And in order to be stopped, these officers, they need a warrant. That warrant has to come from a grand jury. That grand jury has to be of the assembly. Every land jurisdiction in the county should have an assembly. All right. This is simple. So what is this document? You are not creating a court case. This is for if you need to create a court case. This is to educate your sheriff so that you can have your freedom with liberty. All right. Now, a few things have happened with this notice of liability. Some people have thought, well, I'm going to serve it without facilitating the notary jurat. That's a waste of your time. You don't have to give your notice unfacilitated ahead of time. You give your notice fully facilitated. Another thing is, especially in the 2-page where I put in those extra constitutional provisions, you don't change the state on those constitutional provisions. You leave those exactly as they are. You cannot have a right in one state that you do not have in another. So any right that's in a Bill of Right or Declaration of Right from any draft of any state constitution, whether it's the original or any amendment, any right ever that has been facilitated in that compact, that trust indenture, you own it. So long as you know that it's there and you own it. Because you can simply just give up your rights and be tricked and put into that administrative system. Listen to the maxims of law. It's very well explained. So the difference is when you create a court case is the whole language of your document. So this is page 8 of a court case. And from here down is the notary, the verification, and the notary jurat, which does bleed on to the next page. But up here, this paragraph here, oh, this paragraph is something. And listen to the maxims of law, and you'll understand that the contract makes the law. The agreement makes the law. You cannot have a law that goes against your rights unless you agree to it in a contract. Contract makes the law. An affidavit, to be rebuted, must be rebuted point by point. An unrebuted affidavit stands as law. Listen to the maxims of law. So what does this one say? I believe this one was to the Michigan unemployment. This is an affidavit and contract and change of terms. Any man or woman who denies these claims are true must rebut them under penalty of perjury in the form of sworn affidavit. Exactly what the maxims of law say. However, we're putting it in print here with this heading. This is an affidavit and contract and change of terms. And then the language you put in here is important. This is a good one. Any man or woman who decides to suppress this affidavit agrees to pay $30,000. And any disputes by any public official or private actors who are bound by contract to the United States Constitution and or Michigan State Constitution within the United States agrees to have these matters heard before an arbitrator of my choice. Any man or woman denying these claims are true must rebut these claims point by point within 10 days or 240 hours. Now, that could be 3 days or 5 days. What you set that to whatever you want. Make it reasonable. Failure to respond means that by acquiescence, you agree that all claims are true. Failing to respond with constitutionally granted authority, which gave you the power to disregard the rights of the people mentioned within this affidavit and contract, means that you agree to have this affidavit used as evidence of treason, civil rights violations, and maladministration. You further agree that once the 10-day time period is up, this affidavit becomes truth and law, and that all matters must be considered adjudged, and no court has jurisdiction to rehear these matters, and that the witness and additional witnesses against the state of Michigan, Department of Labor and Economic Development, Unemployment Agency, and any bad actors employed within the department or contracted by the department found personally responsible shall be considered sufficient for conviction. Remedy. I always give a real easy remedy. Remedy shall be had in part to release the benefits withheld to Mr. Ethan D. Dean, if not done so by the day you receive this notice, and comply with my wish, order, and demand to complete an investigation and provide me with a complete report by July 12th, 2021. Furthermore, I fully reserve and retain any and all rights to remedy and forfeit no rights with, by, and through this declaration. So you see, not all affidavits are created equal. Well, Susan, man, male or female, mankind. So you can wordsmith out whatever makes you feel comfortable. But there's certain language in there that's not advisable to be meddling with because it's very powerful. So you can hold court from anywhere. You do proper service. That's a contract. No court has a right to rehear the matter. So all of my cases have gone unrebuted. We need justice. In order to have justice, we need law enforcement. Law enforcement doesn't exist. We have treason. The Democrats and the British agents, the British foreign agents, members of the bar, have conspired and overtaken our judicial and our legislative. They control everything. There's an attorney everywhere, in every institution, virtually dealing with virtually any business. Oh, you got a problem? Oh, you need an attorney. Oh my goodness. What a racket. And they prop each other up. So their game is so transparent. This is so simple and easy to understand. You just have to get over the fear. So knowledge is power. Understanding the maxims of law. Understanding what a notice of liability is. Understanding what an American is, what your rights are, your God-given rights that have been cemented in compact, which is a contract, in your state's constitutions, gives you freedom with liberty and all the protections of natural law. You just have to own it. We're going to start holding all these parasites accountable. We have to assemble, and we have to have law enforcement. So every county needs to have a man, male or female, running for sheriff that will be a constitutional sheriff. Because if we have any, I don't know where to find them. Their leader, Sheriff Mack, is a gatekeeper. That's a fact. And Sheriff Mack, you're welcome to come on here live anytime and defend yourself. I don't hide. My contact information is widely available. All right. Has anybody got any questions? Well, that's good. No questions. That's beautiful. All right. I hope that helps. Much love. We'll be back again soon. Own your authority, people. Listen to those maxims of law.